You may have seen recently that we've done a few videos on Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is of course the next big Assassin's Creed game that's coming out. And well, because the game is going back to its roots with more of a stealth focus and linear approach, a lot of you guys on the channel have been requesting more content and information on it. Recently, we have had some more details about the game drop from different interviews and articles, revealing the inspiration behind the faster parkour systems and more details about the gameplay itself. Some of this stuff is very cool, so we're going to go over it in this video and get you guys up to speed on Assassin's Creed Mirage. So, we know that Mirage will be taking place in Baghdad, but where would you like to see an Assassin's Creed game set? Tell us down below in the comments. If you want to support the video, you can click like down below as it really does help, and subscribe and click the bell because we have plenty of content planned for you guys every single day. It seems that this time they're putting a heavy focus on making the parkour system feel more fast-paced and dynamic, as we already know from previous videos that Basim will be a lot faster than previous Assassins, but also we've learnt from the developers that the parkour system in Mirage will be taking inspiration from Assassin's Creed Unity, which we think is very good news when it comes to the parkour. If you haven't already seen Unity's parkour in action, it's one of the smoothest of the series by far, and it looks like Mirage is aiming to implement a similar system. The information was revealed on Facebook in a Ubisoft Brazil post, where it was asking fans, do you love parkour and fluid movements from Unity? Know that they're a big inspiration for what we're preparing in Mirage. And on the actual image it states, Assassin's Creed Unity's fluidity, inspiration for Assassin's Creed Mirage. Personally, we're super excited for this because the parkour system from Unity is really underrated due to the controversial release issues that the game had. But looking at it today, you can see how dynamic it looks moving through different areas, and it really is a solid parkour system, even if you ignore everything else about Unity. Moving on to the next awesome bit of information, it's that along with the faster parkour, Mirage will have an overhauled detection system for enemies, as they want the gameplay to have a big stealth focus. This new detection system means that players can fully utilize their tools, like detection mines and blow darts, to aid in escapes. Here's what they say in a Games Radar article with information from Ubisoft about this on Mirage. Assassin's Creed Mirage has a bigger focus on stealth than in the most recent games, structured around the loop of identifying, hunting, and eliminating a target, and then vanishing. To support the embrace of stealth in Assassin's Creed Mirage, Ubisoft have reworked the detection system to allow for more granularity and feedback. They structured the design of the city and its rooftops to better allow for a stealth approach. It is great to hear that they're putting care into revamping the gameplay systems around stealth, as we have fond memories of setting up the perfect assassinations through planning and perfectly staying in the shadows through the use of your assassin tools. But on to the next thing. All of these additions to parkour and stealth are great, but they would be pointless if there weren't actually any gameplay missions to take advantage of them. Something interesting for some older Assassin's Creed fans is that the black box missions from Syndicate and Unity will be returning to Mirage in some form or another. Here are some details on what exactly to expect from these missions in Mirage via a GameSpot article where they're interviewing one of the developers of Mirage. They say, most exciting of all, however, is the return of the Hitman-style black box missions from Unity and Syndicate, which have been reimagined around Assassin's Creed Valhalla's Hidden One Bureau's missions. As Basim explores Baghdad, he'll be tested with reopening Hidden One bureaus around the cities, but you'll need to clear some high-level targets first. That's your mission, Salah said, so all the activities of the bureau, investigating, identifying targets, and then identifying the boundaries of the black box, and to see what happens there, they're going to be obviously full of enemies, so it's perhaps not a good idea to go straight in and try and reach your target. You need to be a little bit more stealthy and smart, taking your time and looking at what's happening before making decisions. There are multiple ways to take down your target. So we think it's going to be great having these missions in Mirage, and it seems like completing these missions are going to be more interesting than a standard run to the target and kill them. We do love a good mission with multiple ways to get to the target and complete it without just unga-bungering your way through, so the stealth approach here is definitely right up our street. Next up though, we know that the game won't feature the present day sections like in previous Assassin's Creed games, but in the same GameSpot interview, they also go into details about how the game will be more grounded, as it won't feature as much mythology as is in Valhalla, Odyssey, or Origins. This is because the developers aren't aiming to go for the more fantasy mythology side, but more of a grounded, realistic stealth approach when it comes to the assassins. Here's what they say. The core of Ivor and Basim's story in Valhalla is really going into the mythology, so that's fine, it's okay. It was really great in Odyssey and Origins, but we don't want to do that in Mirage. That's not our story. We are into the historical setting. As you have seen in the trailers, there is something that is kind of unnatural, but as you have noticed noticed also, it's perhaps inside the rite of passage. But we won't go too far into that. It doesn't mean that we won't have some hints or winks about mythological culture of the Middle East and of Persia, so you can perhaps expect some stuff. Personally, I really do like when they lean into the mythology and the fantasy aspect of it, but there is something special about those old school Assassin's Creed games where they keep it more grounded and they don't go fully into fantasy creatures and crazy battles and things like that. So I'm a bit on the fence here. I really do like the mythology, but I'm gonna give Mirage a go and see if it gives me those old school Assassin's Creed vibes when we finally get to play it. Tell us what you think down in the comments below. Do you prefer the mythology or do you prefer the more historic look of the games? If you did find out anything in this video, click like down below as well to show support because it really does help. And subscribe and click the bell because we have so much planned for you guys over the next few days that you definitely don't want to miss. And the two videos on screen now, we think you might really enjoy if you found this one interesting or helpful. There's no obligation, but if you learned something new in this video, definitely check out the ones on screen now because there's probably more in there for you to find out. Definitely tell us what you think after watching though in the comments down below.